When things finally stopped moving, I opened my hand and admired the ring. It was thick, shaped like a beetle, much like the creatures that had covered the corpse. I slipped it onto my finger. I didn't think much of it at the time, but the irritation on my skin started to worsen. A few days later, I realized there was something off about the way I felt. My neck throbbed, and the skin around it had started to blister. I noticed my left eye twitching constantly, which I attributed to dehydration, but things only got worse. During my afternoon naps, I woke up covered in mosquitoes that had perched on me, quietly digesting whatever they'd drawn from my veins. When I tried to drink coffee or eat, it all tasted like nothing. I didn't want greasy fast food or beer. Even water didn't feel like it quenched the thirst anymore. By the end of the week, I looked unrecognizable. My skin was clammy, my eyes bulging from their sockets. People avoided me, either out of fear or disgust. My body was changing, and I couldn't stop it. I tried to stay focused on work, but I could hear scratching above me as if something was moving on the walls. It wasn't just my imagination either. Large shadows scurried in the rafters, and every time I glanced at the ceiling, I was fixated on the flickering lights. I had a moment of clarity when I saw a web in the shed, full of June bugs and mosquitoes. My hunger, which had been consuming me for days, flared up at the sight. I didn't remember climbing up the steel beams, but somehow, I found myself in the rafters, devouring the insects. Luis had seen me and quit that day. He was never seen again. I needed something to take my mind off whatever was happening to me, so I went to Uncle T's oyster house. After a cold beer and a plate of oysters, I tried to pretend everything was normal. The hunger still gnawed at me, and nothing tasted right. I stepped outside for a cigarette, hoping the fresh air would calm me down. Follow for part 3.